Developing tonight as an unprecedented southern border, the White House welcomes a group of illegal immigrants shielded from deportation by the president's policies, calling the group champions of change. The National Border Control Council calls this a, quote, slap in the face. Joining me now, Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott and Arizona Attorney General Tom Horne. Gentlemen, good of you to be here. I mean, I said in the break,
Thank you,
Megan. Mr. Abbott, you can't make this up.
Megan, this is unbelievable. We have about 1,000 arrests per day. This is an administration-made disaster, and it's because of one thing, and that's because of the lack of enforcement of the rule of law. In Texas, we're working with the administration to try to get the rule of law enforced on our border. However, we're prepared to enforce the rule of law if the Obama administration does not step up and solve this problem.
How are you going to do it?
Well, I have personally been involved with the Texas Department of Public Safety in surge operations on the border. These have proven to be very effective. What we do, we have DPS officers go to the border, put more boots on the ground, assets on the water and in the sky. We can see all the illegal activity taking place. We're able to stop that illegal activity. My request right now into the Homeland Security Department is asking for the resources that will pay for this surge activity for several months period of time so that we can blunt these forces that are leading to 1,000 arrests per day.
Attorney General Horne, let me ask you, because the reports are that they're literally putting some of these illegal immigrants on buses and shipping them off to your state with nothing more than instructions that they show up and check in with ICE 15 days later. Is that true? And where are these folks going?
Yes, what's happening is they're actually flying them to Arizona from Texas, and then when they get to Arizona, they're busing them to the bus station in the middle of Phoenix, and then leaving them there with a summons saying to appear in 15 days, which I'm sure they'll ignore. And in effect, the federal government is playing the role that the coyotes are supposed to play, the human smugglers. Normally, the coyotes get people who get across the border illegally, and they take them to the interior of the country so they can blend into the population. Here you've got the federal government doing that. And you know, if they can afford to fly them to Phoenix, you'd think they could afford them to fly them back. They could afford to fly them back to Central America, which is what they should be doing, returning them to the country of origin, not flying them to the state of Arizona.
What is likely to happen? Do you think they're probably going to stay in Arizona and just become sort of part of the mix of illegal immigrants who are never apprehended and never have to deal with ICE?
I do think so, and it causes a lot of problems for us. For one thing, we don't know whether these people have been immunized against diseases the way happens in this country. We don't know what they do in Central America, so it could cause health problems for us. It's a burden on our education system. It's a burden on our social services. And the federal government shouldn't be doing this to the state of Arizona. Now, I realize that I sue Obama a lot. I try to sue him a couple of times before breakfast every morning. But they should not be doing this to the state of Arizona. They should be flying people back to the home of origin, to the country of origin, not flying them to Arizona.
Attorney General Abbott, let me ask you, because I think a lot of people, they put the kids in a different category, but then when they hear that the kids have become a distraction to the Border Patrol agents who are now not focusing on them and not on the gangs who are crossing, the cartels who are crossing, the genuine, OTMs other than Mexicans who are crossing into the country with nefarious ideas, they think, okay, now that's a problem. How big a problem is it?
Well, Megan, it's a huge problem because it empowers the cartels in several ways. First, you need to understand that the cartels are getting paid for almost every single person that is being smuggled into the United States. Second is, while the Border Patrol is engaged in trying to deal with the babies and the other people who are coming across the border, literally changing diapers, feeding them, taking care of them, that opens the door for other cartel activity to take place where they will bring in drugs or other crime. But on top of all this, we see the huge problem of both human trafficking and see the results and the stories we hear of some of these kids who travel all the way from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, some of whom are sexually assaulted along the way. This is just a horrific problem. And Megan, it exists because of one reason, and that's because the administration has sent a signal that the border is open. We've heard story after story of families who tell the Border Patrol who arrest them that they got the information down in Guatemala that the doors were open to the United States of America. That message must be stopped.
It's incredible that in the wake of those reports, which have been out there now for weeks, the White House has this event celebrating kids who benefited from that policy. Granted, it was cut off in 2007, but they don't know that. Guys, I got to run. Thank you.